Welcome, I'm Vine and today I have for you an overview of the Tower faction from the Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It's the last good aligned faction in the game, representing the Wizard Kingdom of Bracada. And as we will soon see, good alignment does not necessarily translate to the things that we would commonly consider moral. But a history lesson first. The Kingdom of Bracada is probably the oldest one on Antagarich, as it was established over a millennium ago by Gavin Magnus, after the fall of the Empire of Bracadun, which was ruling over almost the whole continent. This is important to know, as Bracada's socio-political system is a legacy one from Bracadun, which was an oppressive magocracy centered around Wizard King, where wizards enslaved and oppressed people underneath them. Of course, this evil empire was destroyed in a glorious revolution that set the people free. Naturally, when Gavin Magnus, one of the wizards that survived the revolutionary slaughter by randomly finding out that he was immortal this whole time, built his own kingdom, he copied many customs of the state he formerly served. Bracada is also a magocracy ruled by a wizard king, where political power is determined not by birth, but by magical prowess. Naturally, lessons were learned, people there are free and slavery have been abolished. Of course, at the same time, not every sentient creature there is considered people. Over time, for more positive karma, wizards even embraced local religion, the Way of the Light, and exiled all necromancers from the kingdom to go die in a ditch. Fun fact: from a design standpoint, this snowy town clashes with the portrait of Bracada in Might and Magic 7, where we can see a desert. This is confirmed developer error made due to lack of communication between teams making those games. And now this implies that Bracada in the lore has in its border both high snowy mountains and dry desert, which unintentionally is very realistic, as this in essence is a biome setup of Himalayas with Gobi Desert that we have in Asia. Now, as for overall mechanics, the tower is a very magic-oriented town. Every hero, even alchemists, has some magic skills with boosted knowledge and power stats, making them all good at casting spells. Moreover, the design of units reinforces this, as this town has 3 shooter units and plays very defensively, supporting spell blasting from the hero. As nice as this sounds, this town is also the most expensive one in the game, giving a hard time to anyone who has not flagged enough gold mines. So, it's not recommended for players that have had times with economical play. Next, moving to the units. On the first level we have Gremlins and Master Gremlins, the endangered laborers of the faction that are even chained up so they can't run away. Overall, one of the weakest units in the game, but upgraded, they get Master's degree in throwing their balls, which makes them somewhat useful. But what are Gremlins? As this is the first time in the series that they even showed up. Well, we don't actually know, but my educated guess is that they are goblin subspecies, as the green guys have a lot of variants on Enroth. On the second level, Tower gives us stone and obsidian gargoyles. Quite a tactical flyer, as it combines speed with a good health pool. Also, since they are animated statues, gargoyles count as non-living creatures, which makes them immune to various effects targeting living and undead, including vampiring life drain. Fun fact: this creature is much more dangerous in Might and Magic RPGs. It's almost a nightmare level threat, since they are very resistant or straight up immune to physical attacks and can paralyze their victims. So yeah, Bracada mages are playing nice here. The third level is where we get the stone and iron golems. Heavy infantry with perfect stats except speed and weekly growth. They also have 50 and 75% magic resistance respectively, and of course count as non-living. Very useful in defense or in combination with teleportation spell. On the fourth level sit mages and archmages, the middle-aged versions that serve as commanders of the wizard kingdom. Since their shots count as spellcasting, they can shoot through castle walls with full force. Moreover, they help our hero with spellcasting, reducing the cost of all spells by 2 points. On the fifth level we get the Genies and Master Genies, another flyer, this time very offensive oriented but with low health, so preferably use them to attack units that already exhausted their retaliation. They have racial feud with Ifritis, whom they deal plus 50% damage more. And upgraded they get Gender Bended, which gives them ability to cast random buffs. Notice that the number of genies in the stack do not affect the spell power, so we can one-stack them to multi-buff units. On the sixth level we have the Nagas and Naga Queens, the best units of 6th level in the game, but also one of the most expensive as they cost more than basic behemoths. Totally worth it though, as they deal massive damage of fixed value and block enemy retaliation. Also, the design of this unit makes some fans act quite unwise. Though, even if I agree that this is first-class monster waifu material, let me remind you that we are playing tower to do magic, not snakes. And finally, on the 7th level are Giants and Titans. Very good units, and upgraded they become the only shooter of 7th level in the game. They are also immune to mind spells and hate black dragons, dealing them plus 50% damage more. This made them into the meme racists of Heroes 3, which coincidentally is somewhat lore accurate. You see, Titans not only hate black dragons, but they also despise anyone who is smaller than them, which makes their alliance with wizards quite impressive, since they made the Titans overlook the fact that mages are way under 5 meters tall. Also, there is some confusion if Titans are golems or not, due to their marble skin and lore from Ubisoft games. Let me inform you that on Enroth they count as living creatures, both mechanically and in lore, even if their skin is stone-like. Time for my opinion, as that was all relevant info about the faction. I like it. To be honest, that's my second pick after Rampart, as I very much like magic and defensive tactics. Still, the lack of dragons and trees is a major downside to me, so this town is only the second place in my book. Lore-wise, it's quite believable magocracy, though Gavin Magnus himself is quite a boring character in my opinion. Society ruled by wizards is interesting to see, especially with its all shades of grey with endangered gremlins at the bottom. But anyway, what's your opinion about this faction? Write it in the comments, remember to visit channel's Discord, and see you later!